Hey, what's up, everybody? Back for this baseball slate. We're going to look at the 7 o'clock main slate in this video. I'll also have an early slate video out that starts at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'll also have another WNBA video out after. Looks like the first day of playing WNBA this season looks like it's going to be a success. But this video, we're going to look at the main slate. We have like 4 studs on the mound tonight in Verlander, Kershaw, DeGrom, and Greinke. Out of the 4, Verlander is priced far and away more expensive than any of the other 3. The matchup for him is fine against Oakland. The Oakland team is pretty righty-heavy, but Verlander has actually been striking lefties out at a higher rate this season. And pitching in an AL ballpark, he doesn't get to take advantage of the pitcher spot, batting in the 9th spot. I mean, I don't think you can play him here at 11-9, but he seems a little too expensive for me. I'd rather go down to Jacob DeGrom. He's a reigning and National League Cy Young winner. He's been a little rusty this season. Like 2 out of his last 3 starts have been not so good. But we know he has a ton of upside. He's had some big games already this season. And this matchup here is fine against the Diamondbacks. They strike out a really good amount. With the injury to like Peralta, they're playing guys like Swihart. He strikes out a bunch. Christian Walker strikes out a ton. And he gets to face a pitcher here. Obviously, both of these teams get to face a pitcher, unlike Verlander. So you're getting a $2,500 savings, which you can use to pay up for some bats. So I'd rather go with him. And then I kind of like Greinke, too, on the other side. You know, the Mets lineup is extremely depleted with injuries. And Greinke has been really good this season, really consistent as well. He has only had a game under 10 DraftKings points one time all year. That was opening day against the Dodgers. Besides that, all you see is 20s, and you see a couple of teens, and one of them was in Colorado, and 2 of them were in Coors. But now he gets a tremendous matchup here, going back home against this really depleted Mets lineup. Ton of strikeouts in that lineup, and Greinke has some good strikeout upside. He also barely walks anybody with only 11 walks on the season. So I like going with both of these pitchers. Both have low totals and both have similar upside to Verlander and both are priced much, much cheaper than him. So even if you play these 2 studs, you still have about $4,000 left for your bats, which is what I'm always aiming for. If you're looking for a cheap pitcher, like if you're going to be paying up for like a Verlander, or you're looking for a cheap guy to pay up for some bats, I don't really mind Jose Urena at only $5,700. That's a pretty good price tag on him. And he has been pretty consistent as of late. This season, he doesn't have a ton of strikeout upside, but we know that this Padres lineup strikes out a ton, especially against right-handed pitching. And Urena can have upside in the 20s if he has a good strikeout game. And he is pretty cheap at $5,700, and he gets a good ballpark to pitch in, so I don't mind Urena. But I'd rather just pay up at pitcher just for safety, especially for cash. At first base, I like Paul Goldschmidt a lot. He's extremely cheap at $4,200. Facing a lefty, it's a really good spot for him. He's starting to heat up a little bit with a bunch of multi-hit games in his last week. He was off to a slow month before that stretch. But his batting average is up to .275 with 11 home runs. We know Quintana struggles against righties this season. Righties have a .415 slugging against him. And all of his home runs have been given up are against righties, and this Cardinals lineup is extremely righty-heavy. So I feel really good about going with some of these Cardinals, especially in this. It's going to be some good hitting conditions today. So I don't mind Paul Goldschmidt at all. He's extremely cheap for a first baseman, given his talent. He's only $4,200, and I'll show you the numbers for him against lefties. He's been much better against lefties for his career. This season, it's a really small sample size, only 28 at bats. He hasn't done much damage against lefties. But 2018, he had a .291 average with 11 home runs. That gave him a .273 ISO. And for his career, really good against lefties, way better than righties. .321, that's 33 points higher batting average. Lots more power as well, with a career .263 ISO and a .584 slugging percentage. I really like Goldschmidt here at $4,200. Next up at second base, I kind of like Chris Taylor. So he's kind of taken over the leadoff responsibilities against lefties. And it's a really good spot here against Cole Irving. Irving doesn't strike many guys out at all, and that is what you worry about with a guy like Taylor, who has 39 strikeouts in just under 140 at-bats. But Irving, a lefty facing all these righties, is going to be a pretty tough spot for him. He doesn't have a ton of upside. He has 13 strikeouts in 17 innings. In the minor leagues, he wasn't a very good strikeout pitcher, and he doesn't throw hard at all. He kind of just he pitches to contact. And he has really gotten hit hard the last couple starts, and I expect the Dodgers to hit him hard here. So that's why I really like Taylor. He's very cheap at $3,500. Not only that, but against a lefty leading off, one of the better value plays on the slate. And his numbers are much better against lefties this season. So it seems like a good spot to target some of these cheap righties on the Dodgers. This season, he's hitting .266 against lefties, just .213 against righties. He usually only plays against lefties, but he has 3 home runs and just 64 at-bats, which is like a .250 ISO. And career-wise, his numbers are pretty much the same against lefties and righties, but I believe as of late he's been showing a little more platoon splits. Actually, 2018 he was better against righties, but whatever. Batting leadoff against a lefty, I'll take it against a lefty that has struggled against righties. I don't mind Chris Taylor here at just $3,500, given his numbers this season. In the outfield, I'm going to go with Marcell Ozuna. Another guy that should really crush Quintana here. He's been really hitting the ball hard and for a lot of power as of late. He's already up to 16 home runs on the season. He almost has 50 RBIs. He has a little bit of speed as well. Against lefties for his career, he's been really good. And I expect that to continue today. Hopefully. So, like I said, the Cardinals haven't faced a ton of lefties this season. He only has 25 at-bats against lefties this year. But 2018, I had 2019 again. 2018, he was much better against lefties with a .314 batting average and 9 home runs, which gave him a .219 ISO. And career-wise, Ozuna has been really good against lefties with a .295 average and 33 home runs and a .199 ISO and a .494 slugging. So I don't mind paying up for Ozuna on this slate. And last but not least, I like another Dodgers lefty, and that's Kike Hernandez. He's very, very cheap at just $3,700. A really good spot here against Irving. He's been kind of struggling as of late, but against lefties, I will gladly play him. He's been much, much better against lefties his entire career. And this year, he's hitting .284 against lefties with 4 home runs and just 67 at-bats, which gives him a .209 ISO, .493 slugging percentage. And career-wise, he's hitting .268 against lefties, just .215 against righties. And I believe he hits the ball really well at home. So that is definitely the case. .259 average at home this year, just .178 on the road. I really like the spot for Hernandez at a very cheap price tag at just $3,700. So this is what I kind of like today. Going to target some of the cheap hitters on the Dodgers righties. I like a couple Cardinals. I'm a little worried about some of the Rockies facing a ground ball guy, but they're still pretty cheap. Like Tapia's $4,500. I like him. Obviously, Story's been red hot lately. I don't mind him. And if you want to play any Blue Jays, I would probably play Grichuk under 4,000 in cores against a guy that does give up some home runs in John Gray. And Grichuk has been reverse splits with power over the past couple seasons. I don't mind him at all. And if you're going to be playing any of the Astros, it's kind of tough against a lefty, especially with all the injuries. But definitely Bregman's one of the top plays. But Anderson, I don't really like targeting against him when he's in Oakland. Just gives up too many ground balls. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty concentrated on which teams you want to attack on this slate. There's only like 4 or 5 teams that you can really make a legitimate case for, and I think 2 of them right here are the Cardinals and the Dodgers. Paired with these 2 pitchers, seems like a good starting place for today. So hope you enjoyed the video. Keep your eyes peeled for the 2 other videos I will be dropping for this Saturday slate. Thanks for watching, and good luck today.